Good morning and welcome to another Motivational Monday. My name is Matthew Hodge, Executive Vice President here at LPT Realty. I'm joined by Robert Palmer, Founder and CEO. And if this is your first time joining us for LPT Motivational Monday, we welcome you here. If you're a faithful watcher, welcome back. We're happy to be in community with you again. Before we get started, Robert, how was your weekend?
Great, man. Hung out with the girls, had a great weekend at the house. It's just things are good. Get
Yeah.
a little bit of downtime. Obviously we've been traveling a lot. We were in Miami last week. We'll be back in Miami next week. In New York, I'm meeting with investment bankers Thursday and Friday. And then Friday night, I'm celebrating my 10-year anniversary with Jill.
All
So
right,
that's pretty
congratulations.
fantastic. We're going to have dinner in Manhattan around those investment banking meetings. So just a lot of good stuff happening.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, happy that you're able to get some of that personal time in there. It
Yeah.
sounds like an important one.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah.
It's a big one. Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and jump right in. We've got some news today. I know you're super excited about today's announcements, but we're going to start off with the state expansion, kind of the updates
Yeah.
there. So we'll start off with California.
Yeah, and real quick too, I guess we'll touch on mortgage rates because
Oh, yeah.
mortgage
Well,
rates have continued to get worse.
You want
I
to
would
start on
say
the gloom side?
we are now officially head faked by the Fed again when we were hoping we weren't. And for those of you that are using my beard to gauge what rates are doing, right? So when I'm clean shaven, it means rates are going down. When I'm woolly, it means I don't know what's going on. And now that the beard is kind of trimmed and cleaned up, it means I'm expecting rates to stay high for some period of time. So
All right.
we're going to officially call this one a head fake once again.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But look, again, as we've talked about, guys, it just means we keep doing the work right now because when this thing rebounds, we are coiled as a company for that rebound. And when the rebound happens, all that hard work you guys are doing will absolutely pay off. And again, less competition, more people who are not going to stay the course, more people who are going to give up. We're all going to stay the course here together at LPT, and it will happen. We will see this rebound, and we're just going to be ready for it. But it's not going to be this year, unfortunately. It looks like now. Again, we could see some crazy news from the Fed, or whatever. But as we sit here today, the beard is trimmed up
It's
and
trimmed.
In it for the long haul.
Yeah,
So that's the
status.
current weather vein of where we think mortgage rates.
We're gonna.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be at the bottom of the Motivational Monday, just a beard status.
That's it, man.
Yeah. That's,
That Jim Fisher put a meme of me in the Facebook group with like a Gandalf beard, and it was like, it's like I think he said like 2028 rates still haven't come down, and I'm like, I look like a wizard from The Hobbit, So that was
great.
that was good. But
Awesome.
so that's the not doom and gloom, but it's the reality of where we are.
Right.
And again, we will continue to push through. We're here to have the right mindset. We're here to do the work when others will not, because that was what will position us to win in the future. And we have a lot of agents winning right now. Transaction count continues to be down. We had a really soft third quarter. We're starting to see the public companies release. Compass had their earnings release, recently, and they were down transaction count quarter over quarter, up year over year, but down quarter over quarter. The other big brokerages are going to be announcing this week, but from everything we see, Q3 was bad.
Yeah,
It was a
tough.
bad quarter for transaction count. We got hit particularly hard across Florida because that last week of September, Tampa and most of the I-4 corridor was shut down with hurricane and the box, and you can't get insurance, and so just a lot going on. But we continue to press through.
That's
so,
right, that's
and for
right.
us now, a big part of our story is expansion. So we've been talking about state expansion. We held our state expansion through the busy season. We didn't open new states during those busy spring and summer months because our commitment is to you all to have great service levels for you, to continue to fulfill our obligation, our promise to you, to get those transactions processed and get you paid quickly and be here for you all. And now that transaction count is slowing down, it's time to open a whole bunch of states. And so with that, we started onboarding our soft launch in California. So that started last Monday. We used a great new piece of technology that we're going to talk about today, our onboarding wizard or our intake wizard. The onboarding or ICA wizard. We got to come up with better names for all this stuff, which was the beginning of the Connect 2.0 rollout. We're on that roadmap. So with that, let's dig right into California.
Perfect.
We talked about the California Dreamin' Tour. We're going to make that video available today. However, we had to change a couple of cities. We added a new location, changed out a location. So the link we're going to give you today for the video will automatically update sometime later today with some of the new cities. But if we can throw that slide up, Dave, with the locations for California, and then we're going to play that amazing video once again to get everybody hyped up. This is the new schedule, November 18th through the 22nd. We're going to kick it off in San Diego on the 18th, Los Angeles the 19th, Fresno the 20th, San Jose the 21st, and Sacramento the 22nd. Michael Valdez and Coach Bill Pipes are going to be leading the charge out there. They did an absolutely phenomenal job on the Dash Tour in Texas, and now we're bringing that same energy to California for our California Dreamin' Tour.
Yes.
So with that, Davey, if we can hit that California Dreamin' video, get everybody in that good California mood, and then we'll put up a QR code where you can access the video to share it yourself, and you'll be able to register and have the registration link for anyone you know in California who wants to attend those amazing events. I see we have some California agents in the chat today, which is so cool to see.
Yes.
Let's roll that clip, Davey.
Kelly.
The wait is finally over. The fastest growing brokerage in history is coming to California. Robert Palmer, the visionary founder, he waited for the perfect moment to play his hand. California, we're coming to say hello. The California Dreaming. Join us in Los Angeles. The California Dreaming Tour. California, we have arrived.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we're going to blow that video up all over social media. Davey, if you can throw up that slide where they can get the QR code for anybody who wants to share that. So 2 QR codes on your screen right now. One is the registration link that you can share for people to actually register to go to those events. And then on the right, we have the video. If you can go to the next slide, Dave. When you scan the video QR code, you're going to go to this hosted page for Wistia. And if you click the 3 little dots, there's then a share where you can email it, you can post it to Facebook, you can post it to X, LinkedIn, you can embed it. A lot of great ways for you to get that content out there to help spread the hype. And again, when we update it later today to swap out San Francisco and add the new city, the video will automatically update on the link. So sharing the link now, no big deal. It'll auto-correct. With John Powell is in the lab right now. We had, again, those couple of last-minute location changes over the weekend, and he's updating that right now. So again, amazing video. Show that LPT spirit and get that out there because we are coming in hot to California.
That's right.
Again, already onboarding folks from the waiting list and the wait list. Now we're adding in new agents will be able to onboard starting next week. And again, it's it is the largest. Here's what's interesting. You can come back to me, Dave. For the other cloud brokerages, for all of the national brokerages, actually, California is their largest state by agent count. All right, it's where the most agents are at every publicly traded national single entity brokerage, from EXP to Real to Compass. They all have the most agents in California by a pretty good margin. And so if you think about the fact that we grew as fast as we did without California, right? We got to where we have built, and we have achieved this without the largest state in the country. And now we are coming. Now is the time, like the video said, it's time to play that hand. It's time for LPT to come in hot and dominate California the same way we have done in Florida, the same way we're doing in Texas and all the other amazing states that we're in. But California is a big deal. It is a massive part of our growth story. It's a massive part of where we're going next. Another big announcement today around that with the announcement of our new CFO.
That's right.
But, opening California, getting our CFO in place, these things were all critical to where we're going as a company. So make sure you get loud, spread the word, help us launch California with a boom. Anyone you know there, make sure they get invited, make sure they understand there is massive opportunity for growth for us as a company, state of California, and the other, whatever it is, 24 states we're opening, before the end of the year. But, California is the big one.
That's the big one. What I love about that video is you can tell when it was shot because the beard was pretty clean when you're sitting beside the McLaren.
Yeah.
Rates were a little.
That's it. Yeah, I see some folks asking about agent count. We made a decision not to announce every 1,000. Like, I think that, I don't know, these other brokerages where it's like every 1,000 agents they're putting out a number, I think it shifts the focus from where we really need to be. We did that on the way to 10,000. We're now going to wait and we're going to announce bigger moves. We're not going to put this out, hey, where everybody's, we've added a ton of agents since we announced 10,000. Right. We've never announced the number. We're not going to. We're going to wait till we hit that next big milestone because, again, we don't want to constantly disrupt and change the focus back to that. We are real estate first. We are still growing faster than anyone else, but we don't need to shout about it every 1,000 agents. I think that was a tactical error maybe that got into our industry along the way. We played the game on the first 10,000. Now we're going to probably announce either 5 or 10,000 agent increments because that's what really matters, and that's really when we are growing and we are expanding. And so don't worry, we'll be out with an agent count update soon, and it's going to be a big one. But we're not going to continue to play the game where we put out every 1,000 agents along the way.
Yeah,
so,
agreed.
But things are good, man.
Yeah,
things are
good.
fantastic. All right, so what do we got next, Davey? Okay, Connect 2.0 rollout. This is an updated slide. So I had an error last week. I inverted the launch dates for the agent profiles and the auto DA and intake wizard. So originally we had the auto DA and intake wizard going out on the 11th and agent profiles on the 18th. That was my error. I got them accidentally confused as we were building the slide. I got a panic call from the team afterwards like, hey, you just moved things around, so we're moving them back. So just quick update there. ICA Wizard launched. It launched in California last Monday. It is now live. I'm going to show you screenshots of where you can go to find your individual link that will pre-populate you as someone's sponsor as you are recruiting. There's a QR code and a link you can use for that. Agent surveys go live this week. So as you start to have closings later this week, expect to get an email asking you to survey us and tell us how we did. Tell us how that compliance specialist did. Tell us how that commission concierge did. Tell us how LPT's technology did in the specific frame of that one transaction, because that's how we get better. That's how we make sure that we are helping you guys win at the absolute highest level. From there, we go into agent profiles. This is some information we need to get ready for the more broader Connect 2.0 launch. A lot of stuff like updating your MLSs and your boards. This is information we did not collect in Connect for those of you who joined early on. Some additional profile stuff for Connect 2.0. Then November 18th is when the Auto DA and Intake Wizard is going to go live. We're going to have a lot of great training throughout that entire week. We're going to be moving the intake form out of .loop, right? So currently, you go into .loop, you manually fill out that intake form, and then basically someone in the DA department has to retype all of that into Connect. You know, we soft launched a version of this 3 or 4 months ago. We're now launching a much upgraded version of it as a part of Connect 2.0. That'll be going live November 18th. Really going to give our agents a lot more control over the timing of getting DAs out, over how transactions are structured, teams being able to designate signers on the team who can then go through and approve those DAs, structuring the files. A lot of great flexibility coming there on November 18th. Then we take a breather the week of Thanksgiving, and then we come back with our launch marathons, 5 live sessions a day, just like we did for the BBA marathon, to put the most important technology improvement of this company ever in your hands. That is Connect 2.0. That is our connected community coming to life live inside of LPT Connect. 5 times a day, we'll be joining you live all through those 2 weeks. We're launching new circles, launching new features, getting hands-on with you so you understand how to drive this Ferrari that is LPT Connect 2.0, and that happens December 2nd through the 13th. So a lot of really exciting stuff coming out on the horizon. And again, this is the initial launch. There's even more features coming. As we talked about at Grand Prix last year, this is going to be a staged rollout. This is the initial big cutover from Connect 1 to 2. Then from there, we'll continue to add new features. The mobile app is still on the horizon. All these amazing things are coming as we continue to build this company that's not even 3 years old yet.
That's right.
So big stuff there. So let's get those screenshots up, Davey. So the ICA Wizard. So if you log into Connect and you go to User Preferences, it's the second to last tile down at the bottom. When you get in there, there's 3 things you can set. Your CRM and e-sign preferences. This is where you can choose between KV Core and .loop for SkySlope, KV Core Lofty. There's a third button at the top now called Recruiting Site. And when you click on Recruiting Site, then you'll see you can download a QR code and copy a link that will put agents who want to join LPT directly to your ICA Wizard with you pre-filled in as the sponsor, your picture there. And again, that's on your subdomain. So you see we've got John Colley here as our example. So he's got jcolley.lpt.com/onboarding. The link before it is if someone has not set up their subdomain yet, you get the link that's just connect.lpt.com/public/ugly, lots of numbers and letters. So if you don't have the second one called subdomain, I would encourage you to put in a ticket of support and get that added, because we need to establish your subdomain for your recruiting site. Most agents have it, but there are a few who do not. So the second one is the one that uses your subdomain. And then for those of you that have a dedicated recruiting domain, it's the third one down. Again, a feature that's available to lots of agents. If you want to learn more about that, put in a ticket to support. So this is live now. So you guys can start using your dedicated onboarding link. No more emailing support and saying, hey, I need an ICA sent out to this agent, and then we have to kick off the .loop link. It's now completely automated. It was an amazing process. We beta tested it with our California soft launch last week. Great results. We were able to onboard a ton of agents with very little human interaction, which is the point of this technology. So no more requesting ICAs, no more slowing down the process. It's really going to change the way we can grow. And again, we've already done 1,000 agents in a single month for growth. Now we can probably handle 2,000 agents a month, which is going to be important because with opening all of these new states, that's where we expect our growth to go in January, February, and March, which is when we know a lot of agents do change brokerages. So that technology is in place. Put that to good use.
Yeah, awesome, man. I'm super excited about that because I know that that's something that we commit to, which is, hey, how do we continue to grow, our footprint in the LPT good word without, having any adverse effect to people who are already here. And as we have those big growth pockets, sometimes the systems can get strained. So happy we've got a nice, smooth path where we can have new people come into the family and everyone here is not feeling anything at all. So a great work, dev team, and Robert for leading the way. A lot of feedback went into, around what questions need to be asked, what information we need up front so that someone can come inside of the LPT ecosystem with everything that they need right from the gate and have just a great experience. So excited to see that continue to evolve.
Yeah, man, it's fantastic.
All right.
All right, so now our
big
announcement for the day. Right, Dave? We're on to the big announcement. You got the slide ready when I call for it? All right, so big announcement. So, those of you that have been with us have heard me say this a lot. I truly believe that a cloud brokerage, to be truly agent-centric, has to be publicly traded. You look at the peers out there, ultimately we have to be publicly traded because your stock needs to be tradable. Your stock needs to have liquidity. And for those of you that have been here from the very beginning, there were a couple things that I laid out that are critical to that path. And obviously growth and systems and all the things we've done, but the really big one, the big thing we had to do as we commit to that process was find the right chief financial officer, the right CFO. Because what I'll tell you is trying to take a company public without a CFO who has public company experience, without a CFO who has worked for Fortune 100 companies and Fortune 500 companies in the past and has, decades of experience in the public markets, it's hard to be taken seriously, right? It's not just as simple as saying, well, hey, we have a really smart accounting person. The public markets, to have this IPO, they want you to have that person who has the experience and the credibility of being a CFO of big public companies. And so we knew we had to go find that person. And look, and that's not easy to do, right? It's a lot harder to do when you're a dream and a vision and a couple hundred agents. Right. It gets easier as you cross 10,000 agents and continue to grow. And as you go nationwide and open a bunch of states, because again, this person has to make a massive career decision to attach themselves to basically a startup, right? I mean, we're we're a little over 2 years old. We're a startup company. And so, and then from our side too, finding that right perfect person who has the blend of knowledge and experience that we need. All right. And the really interesting thing about this is there's not a lot of publicly traded companies that look like what we're going to be.
Right.
Okay. And so as you think about that, the cloud brokerage is different. You look at an Anywhere, Realogy Now Anywhere, the CFO there has a different set of responsibilities. They're not looking, that's really franchise, right? So you need a CFO with deep franchise experience. And so there's really a small list of people who have been the CFO of a large publicly traded cloud brokerage. And there's actually only one person who has ever, even to this day, held the position of CFO at a cloud brokerage with more than 25,000 agents, because the only cloud brokerage today with more than 25,000 agents doesn't currently have a CFO since Jeff Whiteside left them last year. And so with that, let's throw up the slide and announce Jeff Whiteside joining us as our new CFO.
All right.
So Jeff has amazing experience. Again, was part of really taking cloud brokerage to the next level. Before Jeff, I would say the cloud brokerage space was kind of meandering and struggling. Once Jeff got there, once Michael Valdez got there, you saw cloud brokerage really start to explode and go to where we are going. Held CFO and general manager roles at General Electric, massive global company for 14 years. And was a group financial officer for Pitney Bowes, again, massive company, Fortune 100 companies, Fortune 500 company, Fortune 1000 company. And again, this is the exact type of experience that we need for our story. He understands exactly what it looks like for a cloud brokerage to be publicly traded, for a cloud brokerage to go from where our agent count is today to where we're going next year and the year after that. And the most important thing is Wall Street trusts his perspective on that story. It trusts his perspective on what it takes to be a successful cloud brokerage. Because look, when we launched Hybrid Share, there were a lot of doubters. There were a lot of people saying, hey, can this model work? Can the financials of Hybrid Share work? Is this going to do what it needs to do? And so having someone come in who has more experience than any other person on the planet with the financials of the cloud brokerage space, now being the CFO of LPT Holdings as we march on this journey as a company, I couldn't be prouder. I've gotten to know Jeff. He's an amazing guy, an amazing operator, so much talent, so much skill. Him and Michael have this history together, working together. I feel like I've known him forever just in the brief amount of time we've been working together. And so this is a massive step forward for LPT Holdings, LPT Realty, all of our family of companies as we now get on the final legs of this journey to get ready for an initial public offering. And that is my commitment to all of you as a company, because again, like I said, I believe that a cloud brokerage has to be publicly traded in order to fulfill its obligations to its agents. And so we are squarely on that path.
I haven't seen that many emojis in a little while.
Yeah.
I think everyone is starting to recognize, like, hey, this is turning into something. What makes me so excited about this is that you've got an entire team of, absolute experts who are focused on building this company for you as shareholders. And so that makes me so excited to see, hey, listen, we know you guys are out there doing your thing and we're going to support you, but we've got another layer of support that we're bringing in right now. And that's, going to bring a lot of shareholder value. So excited to see this hire. Absolutely.
Yep. On that same thread, we've got one more great slider on this topic. We're going to have a shareholder meeting. All right. So this will be available to any agent who has at least one RSU, one restricted stock unit that has not vested yet, based on production, based on attraction. We don't have the exact time yet, but we're going to do that Monday, December 16th. So save the date. We're going to have a shareholder meeting that will be led by myself and Jeff and Michael on Monday, December 16th in the early evening. This will be a special tile inside of Connect. Again, this is a confidential meeting. There's going to be some disclaimers that pop up when you log in because we're really going to get into the nuts and bolts of kind of some of the things we are doing as a company. And I think it's important that we do bring you all in because you are the shareholders of this company through those restricted stock units that you earn. It's the only way to be a shareholder in LPT. I still have not taken one dime of outside capital. We have no shareholders that are not either employees or agents of this company, and that was part, again, of my commitment. So anyone who has an RSU, a restricted stock unit in LPT Holdings, which is what you earn through production and through attraction, will be able to log into that shareholder meeting through a tab in Connect. And again, excited to do that. Excited to have Jeff lead that meeting and be a part of those conversations. So again, things are big. We've got a lot of great stuff planned. We're launching all these other states. We've got Aperture on the horizon. All of these things are a big part of who we are and how we will be viewed by the capital markets as we continue to grow and scale this company. So big day here in the journey of LPT Holdings and LPT. Yeah,
it's so funny. That's so good.
Your restricted stock units are inside of LPT Connect. There's a tab called Performance Awards, and that's where you can see all of your RSUs. It's right there inside of the Connect. There's a great dashboard, shows everything that's been earned, why it was earned. Everything's managed right there inside of Connect.
That's right. Okay, well, we are just about at time. Excited to share the news this week, but as we are thinking about going into this week, we know that we've got some, an election happening this week and a ton of just news, kind of the macro headlines. What should we be thinking about as we're going into November? And
I guess there's one thing too I want to say about the IPO and kind of this process. There is a window of time. Once we get into a certain window of time close to the IPO, we can't talk about the IPO anymore. All right. So right now we're in a window where we can still talk about it. We can share things. Early next year, we're going to go into a window of time where, it's this quiet period, basically, until we actually have the IPO, have the roadshow. And so right now we're far enough out that we can have the conversations, we can tell you things that are happening, we can have that shareholder meeting. But I want everybody to understand this process because as we do get into the beginning of next year, there's a window where we have to stop talking about the IPO. And that includes a lot of you as agents too. Like these are some of the things we're going to discuss in that shareholder meeting. There's a window of time where you can be considered gun jumping by the SEC. There's this whole process. And so, right now, because we are, I'd say about a year out, that's kind of when they want you to change how you're talking about things is as you get inside of that year between the 6-month and year mark, I think is when from the advice we've gotten from counsel where that language really has to change. The way we talk about it publicly has to change. So again, right now we're in a position where we can talk about it. We can get things in place like our CFO. We can be very transparent about our plans and what's happening. But again, there's going to be this window of time between 6 months and a year where we have to shift. And we'll let you guys know we're in that window when things have to change. But just understand that's how this process works. That's how the final stages of going public work for a company. There's what's called an organizational meeting, which is where we officially sit down with the investment bankers, with the lawyers and everyone. And then from there, obviously, there's finalizing audits, there's planning the roadshow, there's getting the financials reviewed and finally approved for the quarter that you're going to use for kind of the final story. And in our industry, I can tell you that Q2 is a great quarter to do that based on, right? We know that Q2 is when we see kind of all the work we've done now, right? So all of the agents we're onboarding in new states, all of the hard work we've been doing really starts to pay off in that April, May, June period of next year. So that's a great set of financials for a company to then have reviewed to use on their roadshow. So again, that's how we're thinking about the future. And again, right now we can talk about this, but we are going to hit a window of time where we have to stop talking about the IPO because the SEC has rules around this concept of gun jumping. And again, we're on a really exciting journey here, and it's going to be a one-of-a-kind event. If you think about the size we are. So if you look at the other cloud brokerages, they both IPO'd with like 1,000 agents. And they did it on like what was called the pink sheets and, or what was the Canadian exchange.
OTC,
and
yeah.
by us waiting until we have, 20 times that agent count to go through this process, we're going to be looked at a much different way. We're able to have conversations with a much different level of investment banking firm. And there's all kind of benefits of that because when you do have your investment banking firm who takes you public, their analysts are now with you for life. And there's this kind of like joke of like you date the banker and you marry the analyst. And one of the things is that the other cloud brokerages don't have those tier one analysts covering their stock because they didn't have the big IPO because they went too early. And so again, just a lot of exciting stuff. We've been very strategic about how we think about who we are as a company, about how we think about our future prospects. But today, the big news is Jeff Whiteside coming on with that public company pedigree, with that public company experience to help guide us through the next leg of the race. And I couldn't be prouder of what we're all building here together.
All right. Final words.
I think those were the final words, man.
Everybody
Go make it a great week. I'm so proud of each and every one of you guys. Keep doing what you do. Keep putting in the hard work. Again, the market has not turned the way we thought it was. We're continuing to face these headwinds, but you can push through. You can win. You can persevere. You prove that each and every day. Keep doing the work. Keep using those power packs. Keep using those prospecting packs. Keep getting in those LPT Plus meetings. Keep doing all the right things because when the market does turn, LPT is already unstoppable. We're going to take it to a whole new level. Make it a great week. We'll see you back here next Monday.
Fantastic.